Hello, and thank you for visiting the Prepared in Massachusetts and obtaining a Supervisor Director Core license as my first initial administrator license component of the Massachusetts Educator License Series, often referred to as MELS. For the purpose of this presentation, the phrase prepared in Massachusetts applies to those who satisfy any of the following in Massachusetts for a Supervisor Director license: an approved preparation program, the administrator apprenticeship internship with the trained mentor using department guidelines, or the panel review. Throughout this presentation, there will be references to finding additional information such as guides, forms, and other websites. You can find links to these resources within the overview located directly beneath this video. When selecting the Supervisor Director license, please keep the following in mind. A Supervisor Director license is required for individuals employed for half-time or more as a director, department head, or curriculum specialist in the field and at the grade level of the prerequisite license. For example, employment as a full-time chair of the math department would require possession of the Supervisor Director Core Mathematics license. Please also keep the following in mind. A professional license cannot be obtained as your first school administrator license. You should be applying for an initial Supervisor Director license as your first administrator license in Massachusetts. Requirements for Supervisor Director licenses vary considerably depending on associated prerequisite licenses. For example, requirements to earn the Supervisor Director Core Mathematics license, beyond other things, requires possession of a math teacher license. Also, keep the following in mind. An initial license is valid for 5 years of employment, not 5 calendar years. Again, requirements for Supervisor Director licenses vary depending on associated prerequisite licenses. If you are not sure of the specific Supervisor Director license you should be seeking based on a prerequisite license held, please visit the Which Supervisor Director video should I visit component of MELS. Otherwise, let's continue. As a reminder, being prepared in Massachusetts involves completing one of the following pathways in the Commonwealth for the initial administrator license sought: an approved post-baccalaureate program of studies, an administrator apprenticeship internship in accordance with department guidelines, or a panel review. If you have satisfied or plan to satisfy one of these 3 options, this presentation is for you. Professional associations or traditional higher education colleges and universities offer approved post-baccalaureate programs of studies. Massachusetts school districts sponsor apprenticeship internships in accordance with department guidelines. The panel review is a pathway to licensure that factors in a combination of formal education and experience and typically culminates with an interview conducted by volunteers with decades of school administrative experience. The panel review is limited to those candidates who have completed a post-baccalaureate program in management/administration or have 3 full years of employment in an executive, management, leadership, supervisory, or administrative role. Currently, 2 potential paths exist to obtain a Supervisor Director Core license as your first initial administrator license in Massachusetts. Individuals who will apply and complete all requirements prior to July 1st, 2019 may qualify for a Supervisor Director Core license by meeting the requirements in effect prior to June 27, 2017. Otherwise, those seeking a Supervisor Director Core license must satisfy requirements in effect since June 27, 2017. An overview of requirements in effect prior to June 17, 2017 to earn a Supervisor Director Core license as your first initial administrator license include possession of a bachelor's degree and achieving a passing score on the Communication and Literacy Skills Test. In addition, each license requires the following: possession of the required prerequisite license at least the provisional type, at least 3 full years of employment in a leadership, supervisory, teaching, or administrative role in an educational setting accepted by the department. A master's degree in the core academic subject of the prerequisite license, or at least 18 graduate credits in the core academic subject of the prerequisite license, and the completion of an approved program, an administrative apprenticeship, internship, or the panel review. Individuals seeking a Supervisor Director Core license, with the exception of Supervisor Director Core Art and Supervisor Director Core Foreign Language, are also required to possess the SEI Administrator Endorsement or the SEI Teacher Endorsement. As a reminder, applicants must apply and satisfy all these requirements prior to July 1st, 2019. Let's cover an overview of requirements in effect since June 17, 2017 to earn a Supervisor Director Core license as your first initial administrator license. They apply to anyone who applies on or after July 1st, 2019. They also apply to anyone who applies prior to July 1st, 2019, and do not satisfy all requirements on the previous slide prior to July 1st, 2019. Requirements include possession of a bachelor's degree and achievement of passing score on the Communication and Literacy Skills Test. In addition, each license requires the following: possession of the required prerequisite license at least the initial or professional type, completion of 3 years of employment in the role of the prerequisite license, and completion of an approved program, an administrative apprenticeship, internship, or the panel review. Again, individuals seeking a Supervisor Director Core license, with the exception of Supervisor Director Core Art and Supervisor Director Core Foreign Languages, are also required to possess the SEI Administrative Endorsement or the SEI Teacher Endorsement. Just a quick summary of the difference between the previously mentioned options to earn a Supervisor Director Core license as your first academic administrator license. The prerequisite license for those who apply and satisfy all requirements prior to July 1st of 2019 may be a provisional license, and a master's or 18 graduate credits in the core academic subject of the prerequisite license is required. Otherwise, the prerequisite license must be at least an initial license. Graduate coursework is not required. However, applicants must have at least 3 years of employment in the role of the prerequisite license. Let's take a look at ways to satisfy and document requirements. To document possession of a bachelor's degree, applicants should upload an official undergraduate transcript that includes the registrar's signature, verifying a bachelor's degree conferred, along with the conferral date and all coursework within. The degree must be completed through a college or university accredited by a recognized organization. Applicants who earn a degree outside of the United States through a college or university not accredited by a recognized organization should upload a degree equivalency report made by a nationally recognized agency. Statute requires a bachelor's degree. Therefore, applicants with graduate degrees still must submit verification of a bachelor's degree. The testing company submits communication and literacy skill test results to the Office of Educator Licensure electronically. You can find additional information pertaining to how to upload documents, recognized accrediting organizations, nationally recognized agencies, and MTEL through the links contained within the overview located directly beneath this video. Prerequisite employment may occur in or outside of Massachusetts. To document prerequisite employment, please upload a completed school-based employment verification/induction and mentoring form, or a letter as noted on this slide, verifying the required employment. You can find the school-based employment verification/induction and mentoring form through the link beneath this video. As for a prerequisite license, if you currently possess the prerequisite license in Massachusetts, then the Office of Educator Licensure will verify that the requirement has been met. A prerequisite license requirement may also be satisfied through possession of a comparable license from another state or jurisdiction. Therefore, if you are attempting to document possession of a prerequisite license, please upload a copy of the license. Instead, you may upload a letter signed by the authorized signatory, written on official letterhead from the issuing authority, stating the field, grade level, and type of the license held. If you cannot obtain either of the aforementioned, you may upload a copy of the issuing authority's electronic file verifying the license you hold, along with the official URL for that file. To document graduate coursework, please upload official graduate transcripts. Degrees and/or coursework must be through colleges or universities accredited by a recognized organization. Otherwise, if you completed applicable coursework outside of the United States, please provide a course-by-course independent evaluation made by a nationally recognized agency. Approved program providers verify the completion of Massachusetts academic school administrative preparation programs through an electronic endorsement in ELA. To verify the completion of an administrative apprenticeship internship in the role and at the grade level of an administrative license sought, please upload a correctly completed and signed verification endorsement form for administrative licensure and the performance assessment for initial licensure verification form. Incomplete forms commonly hold up the issuance of administrative licenses. Therefore, please be sure that all sections of the form are completed properly with the necessary information and signatures. You can find additional information about approved postbaccalaureate programs in the Administrative Apprenticeship Internship through the links contained within the overview located directly beneath this video. As for the panel review, upon applying for licensure, please verify your eligibility by uploading an official transcript verifying that you completed a post-baccalaureate program in management/administration at an accredited institution. You may also document eligibility by uploading a letter on official letterhead signed by a head administrator, verifying that you have completed 3 full years of employment in an executive, management, leadership, supervisory, or administrative role. You should also submit a resume and a statement requesting consideration for the panel review. Upon review of your application, the Office of Educator Licensure will then inform you of panel review eligibility. Supervisor directors who supervise or evaluate core academic teachers who provide sheltered English instruction to English learners should earn the SEI teacher endorsement or SEI administrator endorsement. You may earn the SEI teacher endorsement through any of the 4 following options. 1. Successful completion of a department-approved course of study specific to providing sheltered English instruction. The standalone course provider or approved course provider verifies this option electronically. 2. Passing score on the sheltered English immersion test. 3. Possession of a Massachusetts English as a second language or English language learner's license. This license cannot be a temporary license or a professional license that is invalid. And 4. Possession of a bachelor's degree and a major approved by the department or graduate level training approved by the department. This option is a transcript review and generally involves the completion of graduate courses completely covering the subject matter knowledge and skill requirements set forth in the regulations. You may earn the SEI administrative endorsement through obtaining an SEI teacher endorsement or through the successful completion of a department-approved course of study specific to providing sheltered English instruction. Department-approved course providers verify this option electronically. You can find additional information about all options to earn an SEI endorsement through the SEI link contained within the overview located directly beneath this video. Please keep the following in mind. An initial license is valid for 5 years of employment. Educators employed under an initial license for 5 years have a professional responsibility to advance the initial license to a professional license before starting their next year of employment in the role of the license in a public school or other setting where possession of the valid license is required by Massachusetts law. Thank you for taking the time to learn more about Educator licensure in Massachusetts. Thank you also for being an educator or aspiring to become one. Your efforts are commendable and greatly appreciated. We hope this component of MELS has been helpful. Please visit other components of the series for additional information about educator licensure. If you have any questions or concerns, please do not hesitate to call the Licensure Call Center at 781-338-6600 or stop by and visit us in person at our walk-in service counter at 75 Pleasant Street, Malden, Massachusetts.